rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Hello gamers from around the world, this is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, and I would like to welcome you to this week's episode of The World of Gaming, the #1 podcast where we discuss everything that happens in gaming. And Dutch, this week we are on a Saturday. Very unusual spot for us. Unfortunately, I was stuck at work on our regular slot this Thursday, so
Yeah.
we had to move it to the weekend. So nevertheless, I'm excited to do this today, and I want to welcome our awesome community. Big shout out to you guys. A big welcome to everyone who listens after the fact, either here on YouTube, on Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening. Welcome to this week's World of Gaming. And Dutch, my man, how are you doing this week?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. A little bit of a new job role at work as well. So I've been busy with work and
Sweet.
busy after work.
Been promoted, or what happened?
Yeah, kind of. I'm no longer phone bound, doing sales. I am now head of training and compliance for my company.
Sweet.
So
Sweet. Congratulations.
a lot of making sure everything is correct and above board, and listening to things and making sure everything's right and can't get us into trouble. And
Nice. Moving up the ladder. Sweet. Good stuff. Good stuff.
So yeah, busy, and now I've because
Imagine.
I've done that, I've gained a work laptop, which means obviously I've got work at the house as well as in an office.
That's what happens when you move up the ladder.
Mhm.
You're gonna take a lot more work with you. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, congratulations, brother. So this week we have quite a few topics. Some of the topics might be considered already quote unquote old news because unfortunately we had to skip last week's podcast. But that means we have even more to talk about this week, and I'm looking forward to that, Dutch. But before we start with the podcast, as always, we need to talk about the most important thing in gaming, and that are, of course, the games that we are playing. So, everyone in the chat, let us know what is keeping you busy lately. And Dutch, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, so I've there's been a handful of games that I've been playing lately, and I'll get to the newest one last.
Okay.
I've been playing on the PC again a little bit more recently, but I've been playing Football Manager, which, as anybody who's played
Ooh.
Football Manager knows, takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, I remember. It's been a while since I've played a Football Manager, but I remember it being very time consuming
Yeah.
and addictive.
Yes, it is. It's addictive. Even though you don't actually play anything, you're just literally watching little dots
Yeah.
run around the screen. I mean, it's changed since the past where it used to be dots. Now it's figures running around the screen that you
Yeah.
manage. But yeah, that's obviously addictive. But it's one where you can kind of just put it on and let it do its thing, and then manage in between and kind of get on with your life. It's not one of these ones where you have to constantly be like looking at it and doing stuff all the time, which is good. Aside from that, I've also went back onto Cyberpunk 2077 to
Neat.
finish off Phantom Liberty, because as anybody who used to watch me do game streams on Twitch and YouTube knows, I started Phantom Liberty on, I think it was a Twitch playthrough, maybe it was a year and a bit ago when it released, and I didn't end up. I kind of left it to stream it, and I didn't play it when I wasn't streaming, which means that when I stopped streaming the game and I stopped streaming gameplay because I got busy at work or whatever it was at the time, I just didn't pick it back up to finish Phantom Liberty. Obviously, I finished the actual main campaign of Cyberpunk a long time ago. Like when it came out, I played that game to death, but I never actually finished Phantom Liberty. So I've went back on that, and I've been playing that quite a bit. And last but not least, I've been playing the Battlefield 6 beta. Of course, I
Nice.
played it last week when the first open beta was out, and I've been playing it this week, including with a few friends. I've played it with Boy Rush and Berserker This, or everyone knows him as Jordan, and Jordan's friend as well. And so we've been having a good party up there. Pat did try to join in, but he's the strangest thing ever. He came online, he jumped in the party, and then he just disappeared off the Xbox for ages. Just left it on. So I was like waiting for him for about 20 minutes, and he just didn't return. So I jumped out, went and played with Jordan. And then Pat jumped into Jordan's party near the end, and I thought, oh, Pat's back. And then they were leaving, so I was going to play with Pat. And then I was like, oh, you all right, Pat? Didn't respond. Disappeared again. Sent him a new party invite, not there. And then went offline. I was like, what on earth is he doing? So, but then, yes, so I've been playing a little bit of solo, and then I've been playing a little bit of squad based, but overall, really like Battlefield. It is I feel like it's getting back into its best, although I do want a little bit less. I want to kind of play a little bit less of the urban warfare maps that they've got. I want to see what the big maps are like with the aircraft and things like that. And so far, we haven't seen that in any of these maps. So I don't know what the aircraft's like. I don't know what the piloting's like. I don't know what these large scale maps are like. It's a lot of the just urban warfare stuff. But even with that, the gunplay is fun. The gameplay is fun. The destructibility is insane. There's been many times where I'm at the top of a building and all of a sudden a tank just goes and piles loads of rounds through the building, and the building collapses when you're on the top floor and you just fall to your death. Yeah, it's super fun, and I'm actually really looking forward to it on release. The good thing is about the second stage of the open beta so far, is that aside from custom lobbies, getting into the game and the servers and everything has been really stable. Haven't had any crashes, haven't had any dropouts. They've been absolutely fine. The custom lobbies have had a bit of an issue today because, of course, when you're doing custom lobbies and you're selecting a certain game mode on a certain map, well, it'll take forever. Like up to, I think they said one of the issues was it was taking upwards of like 45 minutes to get into a game when someone was selecting a custom game type. Because if it wasn't available, it would then create a brand new lobby for that one person and then wait until enough people had joined that specific one lobby that they were looking for. So I can understand why that would be an issue, because of course if someone's just like, I only ever want to play this map and only ever want to play this game mode, then it's going to be a super long wait. But really, really enjoyed Battlefield. I'm so glad it's back and back to its best. And it works better. And you know what I like about the attachments thing as well is you don't have to fuck about with your attachments every time you do it these days, like you did on Battlefield 2047, where you had to attach them every time you started a new game. Now you sort your loadout before you start the round, and then that's your loadout when you start the round. Hallelujah!
Yeah,
that's it. Don't have to piss around with it in
revolutionary idea.
I know. But no, it's just back to basics and back to what Battlefield was really good at, and it's super fun. It feels really good to play, and I'm looking forward to.
Glad to hear that.
Release.
I wanted to get into the beta last week, and it always told me that the beta isn't open yet. Throughout the entire weekend, I've been seeing people super enjoying it, or playing it on Twitter. And whenever I started the game, it says that the beta hasn't started yet. So I simply couldn't get in for some reason. So I fully intend to check it out this week. Actually, tomorrow. Didn't have the chance to do it yesterday or today.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it because I hear nothing but good things about it.
Yeah.
And you just confirmed that.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to its best.
So,
back to its good Battlefield best. Like I say, I'm just waiting to play the big maps where it gets just ridiculous, and you've got the planes and the tanks and long distance snipers, and I know a lot of people kind of, especially Call of Duty players, hate the fact that you have to run from one end of the map to the other end of the map and things like that. But Battlefield players love that. They love this massive open map where you can kind of get a nice advantage point for proper sniping. Like not this like taking a sniper on Rust, for instance. That's not sniping. Well, guys, if you'd be right back on mine, for some reason StreamYard crashed. I'll be there in a moment. There we go.
And there he is, back in again. You accidentally closed the browser, didn't you?
No, StreamYard crashed. It just kicked us out.
Okay.
That was
weird.
Never mind. But yes. Yeah, game's fantastic. I'm just waiting for those big maps, and I hope to do another open beta weekend with more of the bigger maps on with the aircraft, so we can kind of see how that transpires and how that works. They've had 2 so far. They've added another map. Well, they've added 2 maps into the second one. Obviously, they've added the Liberty map, whatever it's called, and they've added one larger outdoor map. But let's add one more. Let's add a really big map and see how that plays out.
Sweet. Good stuff. Let's see what the community has been playing. Do we have someone in your chat?
Yes, Marion has been playing Mafia: The Old Country, Gotham Knights, and Fortnite.
Ooh, nice. We have H. Julia in the chat, who's also been playing Mafia: The Old Country. And Dutch, I've been playing that as well. I actually finished it yesterday. Yesterday evening, I wanted to jump in to the Battlefield 6 beta, since, like I just described, I couldn't get in for some reason last weekend. I wanted to give it a try, but then I was in the final chapter in Mafia, and the story kind of peaked, and I wanted to see how it ends. And so I finished it yesterday.
Nice.
And it was fantastic, Dutch. It was everything I was hoping for, to be honest. It has a fantastic story. Some say it's a little predictable. And and I could see that. Yeah, it is nothing. The story isn't like anything you've never seen before or something. That's not it, but it is still good. It has some good twists in. It has an unexpected ending. It was exciting through and through the storyline. I love that it's a linear game. It's not open world. There are certain open areas you can explore a little, but overall, this is basically a very linear game, and I love it for that. The gunplay was good. It had some actually really good stealth missions. The stealth was fantastic. So, man, I thoroughly enjoyed my playthrough, and it's only $50. It's a very fair asking price point. Took me a bit more than 12 hours to beat the game.
Yeah.
So it's not super long. I think it's a very fair price point for that. But I actually really, really enjoyed it. It's beautiful. It offers 2 modes on the consoles, performance and quality mode. Both do look and run very well. There was the occasional pop in here and there, but overall it looked fantastic. Great lighting, great choices for color palette. You know, it was absolutely worth the playthrough. Absolutely enjoyed it.
Nice, nice.
Could have been a little longer.
Yeah, I hear that.
Because it was so good.
I heard it was like between what 10 and 12 hours or something.
Yeah, it took me about, but I played it on hard.
Oh,
Played it in the hard mode.
oh,
So it took me about, a bit more than 12 hours to beat it.
so
You
on
could
easy,
probably
it
beat
just
it
went
in
like 4 hours.
oh, on easy, I would say 10.
Right.
Unless you're skipping the cutscenes, of course.
Yeah.
There are plenty of cutscenes there. It is a very
okay.
narrative, story-driven game.
So how long is
yeah?
the gameplay segment of the game then without the cutscenes?
3 hours less, maybe 4
Ooh.
hours less.
Okay.
Something in that ballpark, I would say. I mean, I didn't track it, but gut feeling would be something like that.
Right.
3-4
Okay.
hours of cutscenes, and
Okay.
then I don't know, 8 hours gameplay.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, and it was really good. JLV 730 in the chat is also playing Mafia the Old Country and says he is loving it as well. And
Good
it
to
is
hear.
really, really good. That's why I'm a little confused that the community is voting for Expedition 33 gameplay today and not Mafia the Old Country. Don't get me wrong, Expedition 33 is still my game of the year, but it's been out a while. So.
And Paul is in the chat here, and he's playing Spider-Man 2 on PC and Nier Automata on Xbox before that.
Oh, Nier Automata was fantastic.
It was absolutely brilliant. Like the scene that the kind of area that sticks with me is always when you go to the fairground for the first time.
I think what blew my mind is
it was like the music and everything in that area was just phenomenal. I was just like, whoa.
It was, but what blew my mind is when you finish the game and it takes you back in and it encourages you to do the second playthrough, and you should really do it because you're playing an entirely different game. It's not like a new game plus. The second playthrough and the third playthrough is actually an entirely different game with different characters, with different levels, it's crazy.
Yeah. It is, yeah. It's different every time. I think there is a crazy amount of endings in that game as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, what else have I been playing? I've played also a lot of Grounded 2, actually.
So I still haven't played that yet.
I mean, if you didn't enjoy the first one, you're not gonna enjoy the second one. But the second one is better in every way than the first one.
Good.
A lot of quality of life improvements, right? I mean, the general gameplay is basically the same,
Yeah.
like in the first one, but just significantly improved in every kind of way. And once you've played through the story to a certain point, you get your mounts. So you can ride ants, for instance, yeah, and that actually really changes the game because you can then travel significantly faster through the map. You can carry a lot more stuff. Building stuff is getting significantly faster. It changes the dynamic of the game a lot, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, that's basically what kept me busy.
It's crazy that we got a Grounded 2 before we got a Sea of Thieves 2.
True that. True that.
Like, how did that work? How did that happen?
Yeah. I mean, it's Obsidian. They are just a powerhouse studio.
Yeah.
Right? It is just what it is. They are doing such fantastic work. And they work like a well-oiled machine. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, 3 games in 1 year, 2 of them actually being bigger ones, right? In Avowed and of course in Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah.
But even and then a third one with Grounded 2 on top. It's just an insanely well organized and well managed studio, right? So yeah, and then Dutch. Unfortunately, we have to let the cat out of the bag, right? There won't be a podcast for actually the next 2 weeks because I'm off for vacation, summer vacation.
You're taking a break. How dare you?
2 weeks? I don't know.
How dare you?
I don't know how I dare.
My invite.
Want to join us in Denmark?
I wish.
So yeah, the wife, the kids, and I, we were traveling to Denmark for 2 weeks, starting this Monday. So we won't do a podcast for the next 2 weeks, which is kind of unfortunate because with Gamescom happening next week and opening night live this Tuesday, and then all the Xbox streams, there's gonna be plenty to talk about. But unfortunately, at some point in the year, we're gonna have to take our summer vacation, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we won't do a podcast for the next 2 weeks, but I prepared myself, of course, for the travels, right? And prepared my Rock Alley. Not yet the Xbox Rock Alley X, but the regular Alley. Downloaded, of course, Grounded. And The Witcher is always installed, you know that. But I also pre-downloaded already Gears, right? And I am also kind of in the Batman mood. I recently started with Batman Origins again, and I finished that on the Alley, and I've downloaded the Arkham trilogy to take that along, and I fully intend to do an entire playthrough from Asylum to City to Arkham Knight. Can't wait, man.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
Fair enough.
And then I just realized.
Oh, yes, go on.
And then I realized while preparing myself, of course, I'm looking forward to the Xbox Rock LEX, right? But the thing is, everyone is talking about this handheld like it's this new revolutionary thing. But at the end of the day, it plays the exact same games that my Rock LE already plays for 3 years now, or what?
It does.
How long
It just plays them a little bit better.
It plays them a little bit better. I can't wait, especially with the bigger hard drive, right? The original Rock LE has only 500 gigs, and about 100 of those gigs are taken up by Windows, right?
Yep.
So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the more controller-like shape of the thing,
Yeah.
and the enhanced battery life and everything. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I see all those comments all the time on, and especially over the last couple of days, because the big Gamescom hands-on thing is happening, and a lot of people are talking again about the Xbox Rock Ally X. But it is just a PC at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited. I'm gonna get one day one, but it won't play a single game that your already existing Rock Ally or Lenovo Legion Go or whatever can't play. There's just nothing on it that you couldn't play on any other PC handheld. But people talk about it as it would be like this is the first Xbox handheld, which it isn't. It will not allow you to play any of your console games in any way, shape, or form. It's a PC.
Yep.
I'm excited for it, but it's not a console. Anyway, Dutch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer vacation, and we will be back then in 3 weeks from now. The next 2 Thursdays, we won't be able to do a podcast. Anyway, let's get into this podcast properly and start with some of the actual topics. Dutch, let's start with a short one. Hellblade 2 is out again. The enhanced edition, right? It's also out on PlayStation and PS5 Pro. It now has a performance mode. What are your thoughts? Because I've seen a lot of discussions out there. Yeah, it runs apparently worse on the PS5 than on the Series X, which isn't really a big surprise, right? And then people are super surprised that it runs better on the PS5 Pro than it does on the X. And there's a lot of talk and discussion going on. So what are your thoughts, Dutch?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is when I've completely completed a game, and with Hellblade I have completely completed it twice. So I played it, I got all the achievements, and then I played it again for the additional commentary modes, because of course you can change the person who's commentating the game itself, or the narrator, as it were. The narrator of the game you can change on the second playthrough, and I did that and played through again. Actually, I probably played through the game about 3 or 4 times, because I recorded it all the way through twice. Originally to upload the entire gameplay onto YouTube, and didn't end up doing that. Just deleted it. So yeah, I've probably played through it about 3 or 4 times already, and they're adding a challenge mode, which is good, and of course they're adding like performance mode and things like that, which is nice. But the challenge mode doesn't bring any additional achievements, so there's no real requirement for me to go on there and play it again. I've played the story already, and I find Hellblade, especially the type of story it is, it's only really super impactful the first time you play it.
Yes, it is.
Thereafter,
I agree.
It's not the same. Like, it's like, yeah, it's a good game, it looks pretty, but like it doesn't have the same impact because you're not experiencing it for the first time again.
That's why I never done a second playthrough. I did that with the first one.
Yeah.
Right? When it came out, I played it, and then when it got the Series X patch thing, next gen patch, I did play through the first one again. And
I did the same thing. I played through again to get the additional achievements just before the new one came out.
Yeah, and I kind of regretted it, not because it's a bad game, or on the contrary, I love Hellblade 1 and 2. But like you said, I had this in my mind because of it's a super fantastic experience. And when you experience it a second time, it takes away from that experience. And so I want Hellblade 2 be remembered by me as this game with the mind-blowing visuals, with the insanely good voice acting, and this very intense experience. And when I would do a second playthrough, I would remember it differently than I do it now, and I want to avoid that,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't intend to do another playthrough on Hellblade 2 for that reason. I'm still a little surprised about the discussions going on again. Of course, the PS5 Pro version is probably the best console version you can play right now, obviously.
It should be.
Um,
It should be. You've got
which
extra
should be,
horsepower, so if it
yeah,
wasn't the best version after they bring it out specifically for that, I'd be concerned.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it's good that the game can be played by more people now,
Yeah.
and for those who haven't played it, it's a fantastic experience. Um, Not much else to say about this Dutch. Let's talk about something else. Rod Ferguson left Blizzard. The man who, well, more or less built up the coalition, right?
Yep.
Um,
I went over to
long
Blizzard.
time,
Yep.
long time Gears veteran, went over to Blizzard about 5 years ago to become head of Diablo, and he's leaving the studio now. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a strange one. I haven't seen kind of any reasoning as to why he did or anything like that.
Yeah,
So I can't really comment on it. Maybe he's just wanting to change the scenery at this point. Kind of outside of the realms of Microsoft and Xbox. Maybe he's just
could
wanting to
be.
get out the industry full stop for a bit and take a break from it. I wouldn't blame him if he did, because, like you say, he's been at the coalition for such a long time, doing Gears, and then obviously moving over and doing another major franchise in Diablo. Uh, it's kind of a lot of work, and especially obviously it was mega successful with Diablo 4. Such a really good game, really great game. Um, Fantastic protagonists and things like that, but. Yeah, I mean, all the best to him. I can only speculate that it's maybe he's just needing a break from the industry, or maybe he's a break from Microsoft and Xbox. So
Yeah, it kind of reminded me about this whole Mike Ibarra thing, where he left Xbox, and when they acquired Activision, he decided to leave that again because he really just didn't want to be under the Microsoft supervision, right?
yeah,
Um, and I don't know if that's the same with Rod Ferguson, right? I mean, he is one hell of a game designer. There's no doubt about that.
yeah,
Um, so with everything that is going on within Microsoft, and with that, of course, also in Activision Blizzard and the larger Xbox organization, it is an odd timing, right? Only a couple of weeks ago, the mass layoffs happened. Studios were shut down. Games were canceled left and right. Right, with Everwild and Perfect Dark and so on. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but since the timing since it is so close to these things happening, it, it you gotta speculate that this is playing a part.
yeah. I could also,
Um,
because he hasn't really said anything, it could also be that he's on gardening leave, and it would prohibit him
yeah,
from making comments for the second. And he's got to see out his gardening leave, and then we'll probably hear something in a couple of months about where he's went to next. Um,
could very well be.
very much, I think that's very much probably what's going to happen here, because it's been relatively quiet. I think the all I seen him posting really was just him in front of the Diablo Lilith statue, I think it was,
Statue, yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. And it's probably something like that, that there's something in his contract where he's prohibited from talking about it, where he's going and leaving. That's not unusual.
Yeah.
Yet again, the timing is just suspicious, right? So
Though at the same time, I mean, it could be that he's opted to do this because he doesn't feel. And I would, if I was in that particular section as well, and obviously it would play a part in your decision making with the way that they're doing things and the staff. Would you feel like your long-term job security was there at Microsoft, regardless of how long you've been there?
it's a very good point. It's a very, very good point.
In which case, then you look potentially at other avenues. Even if you have been at Xbox for quite some time, you sit there and you think, I really don't know how much longer this has got before they change my position, or I'm redundant, or...
And maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's when you are in a position like Rod Ferguson is or was. You're the one who needs to tell all the people, all the staff, the bad news, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of become the bad guy of the company, even though you're forced to do it, and it has nothing to do with your free decision, right? But at the end of the day, he's the guy who needs to let people go, and at some point, you just don't want to do that, right? Maybe it's those kind of train of thoughts. I can definitely see that doing something with you, right? If you're in the industry to build great teams, to make great games, and the bigger organization is simply not allowing you to do that, and all you gotta do is lay off people, the constant cost pressure on your shoulder, the constant uncertainty and changes going on. Today we are going in this direction, the next day we're going into that direction, right? Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I just find the timing again a little suspicious, and I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with what is happening at Microsoft over the recent weeks and months.
Yeah, I think you've got a point.
We'll see where he will end up, and if and when we hear again from where he's going next. But yeah, I do wish him all the best, man. Since we are on the subject of stuff being cancelled, we were supposed to talk about this last week. During last week's podcast, we didn't have the chance, but Contraband got cancelled.
Yeah.
Another one. The game they are have been co-developing with Avalanche Studios, right? They announced that game 4 years ago, and I looked it up because I remembered that they put out a statement on Avalanche when they on Contraband when they announced it. And 4 years ago, they said, we have been working for more than 3 years on that game with our partners at Avalanche. So doing the math, this game has been in development for around about at least 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's also gotten cancelled. I mean, we haven't seen any gameplay, anything from the game other than a brief CGI teaser. But I don't know, Dutch. Very similar to the storyline of Perfect Dark, right? Getting cancelled after 7 years in development. And Everwild, same ballpark. Games that should be very, very late in the development stage, getting cancelled. I mean, I can understand if games are getting cancelled in the early phase, right? When you do the prototyping and you just don't find a formula that is fun. but after many years in development, being relatively late in the development stage, canceling games, I don't know how you're feeling about this, but to me, this is kind of hard to explain how this could be a wise business decision.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's got the monetary backing to be able to cancel these things and not really feel the brunt of it, it's Microsoft.
Yeah, that's true. That's that is true, but
And I
let's not
think
forget
at
that
some point
Microsoft.
as well, they'll be looking at it and thinking, even if we did release this today, monetarily, we wouldn't be in a worse position than we would be if we cancelled the game. These are the decisions they're probably looking at and thinking, listen, we've already wasted like 100 million on this game and it's got absolutely nowhere. Do we believe, are we going to forecast that this game will recoup at least 100 million? And they probably look at it and think, you know what it is? Probably not. It's
But
probably,
even if it doesn't recoup 100 million and only does, I don't know, 50 million, it's better than nothing.
they probably don't think that. They probably just think,
Yeah,
fuck it. If it's not making the money back, it's not
course.
worth it.
Yeah.
You
But
know
it's
what? You know what
other
shareholders
companies
are like.
as well.
Because
I mean,
that's to them.
remember
It's,
Concord.
I was going to say to them, shareholders, they just see a loss is a loss, regardless if it's 50 million or 100 million. Like, if we may as well cancel it, because if it's not making its money back, even if it's like all of its money back, then it's not. Why would we continue it? I think that's ultimately what they'll probably be looking at there. They'll probably be thinking, are these games actually going to make their money back? Or should we... And then look at how long it's got left to develop. They're sitting there and go, well, how long does the studio think it's going to take to finish? Another 2 years. Right. Absolutely not. Knock that on the head. How long are you going to take to finish this game now? You've already had 6 years. Another year and a half. Nope. Knocking that on the head. Right, how long are you? Like, some of these things, as you know, Contraband's been in development for fuck knows how long. Everwild was in development hell for like 7 years or something, 8 years. Like, some of these games that have been cancelled have been in development. Perfect Dark, they wasted like literally $500 million or something. It's ridiculous on a brand new studio, all the staff and the game, and contracting an entirely different studio to help make Perfect Dark, and they've just canned all of it. So it's obviously we would rather they came out, but clearly the shareholders and the powers that be at the top are just thinking, listen, none of this, we're gonna make none of this money back. Like, these are just dead in the water. This is just not gonna work. So just knock it on the head now, and we'll just focus on what we have.
Of course, it's got to be something like that, right? How much money or how much more money do
How
we
much
need to
more money? Yeah,
invest
it's not so much how much have we spent.
before this comes out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more how much more do we have to put into this in order to get it. And the Perfect Dark was nowhere near done yet. That was still a case of, oh, we'll show you more info as development continues. It was like, Jesus Christ, that's miles
But
off.
I wonder why it takes you 7 years to notice that.
Well, it's probably just the change. I would imagine the change at the top. The initial development segment of it wasn't under when Satya, etc., was really getting involved. And only the last couple of years, when they've been starting to really plow the money in, has Satya and his group of financiers started looking at things a little bit more and went, right, guys, right.
Yeah.
All of these
but
projects, how long has this one got left? Because this one's been in the oven for like 6 years now. It's got 2 years left. No, it doesn't. Knock that on the head. That's done. What about you? How long have you got?
Again, it raises the question: why haven't they noticed that earlier?
The Xbox guys probably did, but the
the
Xbox team are very lenient, and we've known this. Like Xbox team as a company have always been, oh, we're going to give you as much time as you need. But now Microsoft are looking after Xbox team, and Microsoft are calling the shots, not Xbox. Microsoft are going, nope, we're all for being lenient, but come on. And I think that's the thing. I think they've been getting away with giving people and companies as much time as they need for a very long time. And now the guys at the top are thinking, oh, we can't be doing that anymore. It's like a black hole of money. We're just sinking things into stuff that never comes out.
As painful as it is, it kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
right? That you have certain, I don't know, milestones that you have to reach. If you're not reaching them in time or budget, of course, the project is a danger, right? I just wonder why Microsoft hasn't had those kind of, let's call it, I don't know, quality insurance measures set up earlier and not let people work for 7 years. Imagine, put yourself in the shoes of a developer. You're working for 7 years on a project, on a game, and then it's getting canned, and your entire doing over the last 7 years
Deleted.
was for nothing.
Yeah.
For absolutely nothing. It's like it's kind of the worst thing you can do to demotivate people, right? And good leadership should actually account for that, right? That something like that is not going to happen, and this is what makes me so curious about what's going on there, right?
Yeah.
You should have noticed, like 2 years into development, hey, Perfect Dark or Everwild or whatever, or Contraband or any of these games, right? It's going nowhere.
That's what I'm saying. I think Xbox as a team did know this, but Xbox as a team were very lenient and give them a long time to sort it out. But Microsoft as a team, when they've really took the reins of Microsoft, now that they've funded them by the tune of over $1 billion on 2 acquisitions, they're now going, nope,
Yeah.
let's rein this in. No more.
Obviously, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But it makes you question, right? Again, the leadership skills and project management skills of some of the people in the Xbox organization. Anyway, let's move on from that kind of depressing topic. And let's talk about the exciting stuff that is happening next week at Gamescom, right? This Tuesday, the opening night live is going to happen, Dutch.
Yep.
We've got a good idea on a couple of big games that will be shown there. Resident Evil Requiem will be there.
Yep.
I can't wait. I hope we're going to see actual gameplay and not just a CGI tray or an engine trailer. You think we're going to see gameplay? Because it's supposed to come out next year, right?
Possibly. So maybe it's like a teaser gameplay. I don't think it'll be super long because again, Resident Evils are like story based. So it's not like they can show you too much without giving away much of the story. So possibly a little bit. It might be like a montage of certain like combat-y bits or a montage of scary bits, but I don't think they'll give you like a full run out gameplay segment because of just the type of game Resident Evils are, where it's a lot of very story based gameplay.
That is true. You could still show some, shooting scenes where you shoot some zombies or
getting chased by something,
the enemy
or
being chased by something. Show off the visuals, show off the mechanics. I actually think we will see that. The game is supposed to come out
the
on
big bad and who the evil is.
Yeah, tie in some short story elements, right? Because the game is supposed to come out on 26th of February next year. Yeah, that's only like 6 months left. And the only bigger showcase you could show it off is the Game Awards. In between now, opening night live and the Game Awards, nothing big is going to happen where you could actually present it. Of course, you can always, in this day and age, you can always just release a trailer willy-nilly throughout the year. But if you actually want to present it to a larger audience, I think opening night live 6 months before the game is going to come out would be a good time to actually show some gameplay.
Yep.
So I fully expect that to be shown there. Well, it will be there. They confirmed that, but you know what I mean. Ghost of Yotei is also going to be there.
Yep.
I mean, not really surprising at a Keighley show, and the game is supposed to come out in, I want to say, October. When is Ghost of Yotei coming out?
Is it not next month? I'm sure
Is
it's a
that
couple of
early?
weeks. Yeah, I'm sure it's a couple of weeks.
2nd of October. I had October in my head, yeah. So, but yeah, that's like 6 weeks from now. 1.5 months from now, it's going to come out. So not a big surprise that it'll get something there.
I feel like we've seen enough of it, though. I feel like these days,
yeah,
they show games off too much before release.
I agree. I totally agree. I had that. I thought that just earlier today when I saw that Crimson Desert.
Oh God, yeah. God knows how many times I've seen that now. Lost track.
Released a 13-minute gameplay trailer. So how many times did we see that game now? It looks fantastic. It looks phenomenal. I'm good. I'm sold. Don't ruin, because when you release like every month a new trailer, new gameplay segment, this is just now 13 minutes of continued gameplay. When you do that like every month, how are you going to build up the hype before the game actually comes out?
Yep.
Right? And it was just recently delayed into 26. Anyways, they said because of, getting licenses on console and stuff like that, they've delayed it to 26, but don't show it again. Don't show it like until a week or two before it actually comes out with a great launch trailer, and then just, if the game is any good, it's gonna go viral automatically in this day and age.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep.
You don't need to show every month 2 trailers. And I think with Ghost of Yotei, it wasn't as bad as it was with Crimson Desert, but I'm fully with you. I've seen more than enough of the game. I'm sold. I'm gonna get it. Gonna play it day one.
And no offense to Ghost of Yotei, but it's essentially Ghost of Tsushima, but a female protagonist.
Absolutely.
So we don't really need to see much of it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That was like Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man 2.
It's more of the same.
It's more of the same. That's not a bad thing, but it just means that we don't really need to see that much of it for you to get someone excited for it. You go, brilliant, it's a sequel. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, agreed. Ninja Gaiden 4 is also going to be there.
Yep. Another one I don't really need to see again.
Thing. I'm fully with you there. I've seen enough. I'm sold. Looking forward to it. Looks great. Gonna be fun. Gonna be gory.
Yep.
All
they
good.
showed, like, when they first showed the game off, they showed a lot of stuff off. Like, it wasn't like they showed a little bit. They showed a lot about the game. Like, I don't need... That was enough to sell us. That's it. Now I just wait for release. I don't want you to see it again. I can understand for people who are at Gamescom getting a chance to play it. Fantastic. That's a different story.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we don't need to see more gameplay. We've seen plenty of gameplay.
I agree. Ninja, The Outer Worlds 2. Exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's also been confirmed by Jeff Keighley to be at the stage.
Why? What a deep dive. Not only did we have normal
We got a
gameplay, we
deep
had a
dive,
deep
we
dive.
got trailers, we got
A too
gameplay.
long deep dive as well. I complained about how
Yeah,
long that was when we were actually watching it. Outer Worlds 2 did not require a deep dive.
I agree. I totally agree. Listen, I'm really looking forward to Outer Worlds 2.
Yep.
I loved the first one. I loved Avowed. I I think Avowed is still in my top 3 of best games this year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know I will absolutely love Outer Worlds 2. But it's also, in a good way, more of the same. Improved mechanics left and right, yeah, but it's just like Outer Worlds 1 with quality of life improvements. We've had the deep dive, we've had multiple trailers. Don't really need another one.
Yep.
I just want to play the game now, right? Silent Hill F is also going to be at opening night live. I mean, we haven't seen too much of that one.
We haven't, but I feel like some of those games should be more experiences, and I feel like horror games are those kind of categories where you need to really play it in order to feel what the game's like. We saw a little bit of it. I hope this isn't too much when they show it. Of course, it'll be intriguing to see what it's like and what the protagonists are and things like that, but I don't really want to see too much of it because it would spoil Silent Hill.
Since we haven't seen too much of
Yeah.
it, I'm okay with it being shown off.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't always give the demos in the hands of the people.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm okay with it being there. I have more of a general thing with Silent Hill F. I feel this horror genre is more than probably any other genre affected by quality. If a horror game is done really, really well, it can be absolutely amazing. If it's mediocre, or if it's not really, really good, there is no mediocre. You know, it automatically becomes bad. If you play a shooter or a role-playing game, you can have absolutely phenomenal ones, like The Witcher. You know, you can have mediocre ones that are still worth playing and enjoyable. And then, of course, a game can also be very bad. But with horror games, I feel like I can't really remember a mediocre horror game. I have only played extraordinarily good ones, and if they are not really good and the quality isn't really high, they are automatically bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And from the little we've seen from Silent Hill F, I feel like this is the latter one. You know, it's not gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, so
I agree.
yeah, maybe I'm gonna be surprised after this showcase.
I don't know
for the
what's
opening
got
night.
them away from doing
That
like. I feel like a lot of horror games now have got away from the psychological aspect of horror, and they're just trying to be like, not
Yeah.
even jump scary, but like just gory and gruesome, as
Mm.
opposed to like psychological horror. Like the one thing that people were so hyped for Silent Hills, or what was PT at the time from Kojima, was because PT was a really creepy like psychological horror where you were going round in circles in this flat thing, and then the phone would ring, and then like all of a sudden
Yeah.
suddenly there's a dead woman just like hovering above, and then like a hand would like creep out the bathroom door, and then like get put, and it was like like shivers
Yeah.
up your spine. And no horror game recently has even come close to that. That's one
Yeah,
thing I think the horror genre is missing, is a real psychological horror game that makes you go, ugh, like
yeah,
shiver and just go, nope. I don't
yeah,
want to go around there. Not a chance.
yeah. I agree. I agree. I mean, let's see if OD is gonna fill that spot,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Fingers
Or
crossed.
what's the game Ninja Theory is working on? That they've announced like 5, 6
Oh,
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, with
Project
the very
Mara.
photorealistic Project Mara, exactly. That could also be something like that. But yeah, I agree. I agree. What else are they going to show? World of Warcraft Midnight is gonna get its world premiere there. See, that's okay. That's okay. That's what the opening night, even though I'm not a World of Warcraft guy, but I feel like a world premiere is always good. Big stage. It is in Germany. Germany is a very PC heavy market, you know.
Yeah.
Lots of PC players there. Kind of makes sense to present the trailer there. What I'm kind of really excited about is we are getting the first trailer for Fallout Season 2.
Ah. Yep. Not be long now.
No,
And it is in
is
December, doesn't it?
yes, this December, and we're getting the first trailer. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. I also feel like that when Fallout Season 1 on Amazon came out, everyone was like really surprised by its quality, because usually those TV adaptations from video games aren't like super duper good.
Yeah.
Some of them are okay. I really enjoyed actually the Witcher series. It was well done, but it also didn't really set the world on fire, right? But with Fallout, it was very different, and I was kind of surprised that Xbox didn't really pick up on that Fallout hype. I mean, clearly they didn't have any games in the Fallout games in development, but they must have kind of anticipated or known that this is, hey, we've got something good here, and we need to bank on that with something. I mean, they released the patch more or less along with the Fallout series, the next gen patch for Fallout 4, but that's about it. Do you think they kind of going to rectify that? I mean, remember during the ABK acquisition, Microsoft accidentally leaked the Bethesda ZeniMax roadmap. And even though basically everything that was in this list got delayed a little, eventually it came out. The Oblivion remaster was in there, for
Yeah.
instance, yeah. And there was also a Fallout 3 remake or remaster or something in there. You think that could be a thing this time, that they actually have something to launch with the TV series? Because it's going to be massively successful again.
Nah, I don't think so. Microsoft aren't that smart. I'd love to say yes.
I feel like Fallout is a
but they always
superly
miss a trick.
awful.
They always miss a
Yeah.
trick.
I mean,
It's a bit like
that's the most
they
likely
could have
guess.
they could have released the Halo series along with Halo Infinite, but they didn't. They could have released they could have had the Gears TV show ready to go along with or the Gears movie ready to go along with the Gears
It's
Judgment
Reloaded.
Day or E-Day, but they haven't.
Yep. Who's to say that they don't have it ready for E-Day? I mean,
E-Day
is
is releasing next year.
next year. Yeah, right. It's a holiday next year.
I
Well,
don't think the TV
holiday
show.
is something I made up, but you know, everyone knows it's going to be a holiday title.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think the TV show for Gears is going to be. They haven't even started shooting it yet.
Oh, they have. It went into production. But it did, like, I want to say at least 3 months ago or so. They had the cast ready, they had the script ready. So, and since it's a show and it's not like a video game that needs 7 years to make, I could absolutely see that they have that ready, more or less aligned with E-Day. And it kind of would make sense. I mean, listen, with Fallout, it's so badly managed. Everyone has been asking for something Fallout. Fallout 4 is what now? 9 years? I want to say at least 9 years, if it's
Yeah,
not 10
probably
years
about a decade.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, old, and we haven't gotten anything Fallout ever since. Everyone has been asking for a new Vegas 2. Obsidian has said, hey, we want to do it. We actually want to do something Fallout again. I know Todd is doing his thing subsequently. So after Fallout 4, it was Starfield. Now the next game is going to be Elder Scrolls, but Fallout 5 is therefore what, a 2035 game?
Yeah.
At least.
At least. That's not including the fact that obviously by the time they've finished doing Elder Scrolls, which is fuck knows when.
Yeah, exactly. That's even if Elder Scrolls comes out 27, it's gonna be at least another 7-8 years till
At
then
least.
the next game.
Yep.
At least. And that's, I mean, it's a relatively optimistic assumption that
Yes.
Elder Scrolls is going to be a 27 game, right?
Yeah, very optimistic.
So yeah, I feel like Fallout is so mishandled. Give the license to someone. They have so many good studios now. I mean, Obsidian is the Obsidian is gonna knock out a Fallout game in 3 years, dude.
Yep. Just give it back to Obsidian. They made the best one anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Do a remaster, like
of New Vegas.
That is New Vegas, right? Or Fallout 3.
You know what it is? I think that's why the TV show for Fallout did well, or did better than some of the other shows of the same kind, because Fallout wasn't based on a vault that had been in a game. It was based on a new vault, so it could tell a new story. Also keep familiar people in and around it so that you can go, oh look, that's that. Oh look, that's this place. Even though that wasn't linked really to that particular vault in that story, you still had the Brothers of Steel. You still had, and in the second series, they give you a tease of New Vegas. Whether or not they actually go there or anything is another thing entirely, but it's kind of giving you that nostalgia whilst creating a new story with new characters.
Yeah.
Whereas the issue you've got with Halo and even The Last of Us, where the second series has just fell off a cliff, is it is literally almost word for word what has happened in the game or the book. So you kind of, anyone who's seen it, you're just like, I don't know what's happening. And with Halo, it was just a case of it was just massively mishandled.
I mean, yeah.
Like it took until the end of the second series.
About Halo.
It took about the end of the second series for that to feel like a Halo.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Halo is also very.
I'm glad someone else has picked it up, but it's going to be a while until it's. Until it's back up and running.
I mean, the one thing that gives me hope is that there was this Fallout 3 remake or remaster mentioned in the in their own leak. Yeah, at least at some point they at least had a plan to do it, and with the success of the TV series. What now? Is it, I want to say almost 2 years ago. Or when did the first season come out?
2
They
years ago?
had it. I want to say 2 years ago, right? They kind of had time to prepare something Fallout for season 2, because season 2 is gonna be
Oh no, I
number
think
one in the charts
sorry. I
again.
think we're
and-
just getting ahead of ourselves. I think the first series was last year, wasn't it?
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Maybe someone in chat knows. Anyway, if they could give that the Oblivion treatment, bring it not do a full remake, but bring it into the modern world with significantly upgraded visuals, some quality of life improvements in terms of menus and everything. That would be so awesome, man. And we cannot wait for the next Fallout game till 2035
Yeah.
or something. It's too long, dude. Way too long. On the other hand, with Elder Scrolls doing the same, right? We didn't have an Elder Scroll. Let's assume it comes out in 27. Let's stay optimistic. Very optimistic, I know. But let's stay very optimistic and say Elder Scrolls comes out in 27. That's 17 years
Yeah.
in between two mainline Elder Scrolls game. That is too long. That is way too long. It's an entire generation of gamers that have never experienced an Elder Scrolls game. It's ridiculous to do the same with Fallout, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I need to change the gameplay here, dude. I ran out of Expedition 33 gameplay. So I'm gonna put on some Mafia now. Where were we? We were talking about Gamescom,
Yes.
right? Fallout, gonna be a new trailer on the stage. So, and we kind of went through the games that have been announced from Jeff Keighley, Resident Evil, Ghost of Yotei, Ninja Gaiden, Outer Worlds, Silent Hill, World of Warcraft,
Keeper.
and the Season 2. One more thing, Call of Duty is gonna be there, Black Ops 7.
Woo! I think
Gonna
Call of
get its
Duty is going to
prop-
get absolutely shafted by Battlefield this year anyway.
That is the question I wanted to ask. You think after playing Battlefield 6, you have at least played it? I will hopefully tomorrow
Yeah.
play it. But everyone loves it. The Battlefield 6 open beta has been massively successful.
Yeah.
I just read earlier today that Battlefield already surpassed 1 million plus pre-orders on Steam.
They also had a
alone.
higher game peak than the most recent Call of Duty on Steam.
Yeah, I think it was higher player peak than any Call of Duty. not
Yeah,
just the
that's right,
recent
yeah.
one.
Over
Yeah,
500,000 concurrent.
Yeah, which is massive. And they both come out.
And that's just Steam.
Yeah, that's just Steam and just the pre-orders.
Yeah.
Imagine that thing comes out and it goes viral and everyone loves it and everyone's hyping it. Battlefield is back. I've heard nothing but good things. Nothing.
And it has
Everyone
a campaign.
I've seen-
And it has a campaign.
It does have a campaign.
Woo!
Indeed. Nobody's gonna play it for the campaign though.
That's what's got me hyped for it again. Because it's been a long...
Yeah.
It's been since Battlefield 4 was the last campaign we had for Battlefield. Like, actual campaign.
No, there was this
No, I
weird
don't count it.
campaign
I
with the
don't count
short
it. No,
stories.
No, that doesn't count. It was terrible.
Oh, that was a single player mode then.
It was terrible.
How would you call it?
It was terrible. Let's face it. You go in, you do
Yeah.
something where there isn't really a story, and the story changes when you die. And then it says this person died at this time on this battlefield. And then it goes over to the next person, and you play his story until you die. And then it goes, this person, this died, and and then it takes you to the next battlefield. That wasn't really. I was like, nah, horrific. Let's never do that again, please. And we've never had them then with Battlefield 2042. There was no campaign. With Battlefield 5, there was no campaign. It was only Battlefield 1 that had that weird in-between thing. So we haven't had an actual legitimate Battlefield campaign since Battlefield 4, and that was Xbox One 360.
Definitely. 10 years at least.
At least. Minimum.
At least.
So it's got me
it's been a
excited to
long
have an
time.
actual Battlefield campaign and a grounded campaign that isn't like Fast and Furious, which like Call of Duty is,
Yes.
where it's just like completely unrealistic. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. It's gonna be really, really hard for Call of Duty this year, and especially with if we look at recent years, since Call of Duty is a yearly release, right?
yeah,
We have kind of a good track record on how Call of Duty is each and every year. And usually, when there was a good one, they follow up with a bad one.
yeah,
And last year's was considered a good one. So,
Yeah.
if history is any indication, we all know that this year's one isn't going to be a good one. There's really no hype around it. Nobody is. I've seen no one, not even the Call of Duty fans, talk about this. Oh, we're getting the Call of Duty reveal on Tuesday. Ooh, nothing. Everyone's talking about Battlefield, and both of them come out, I think, in October, right? Or is Call of Duty this year early November release? But at least they launch within the very same time window.
yeah.
I really can't see that Call of Duty is going to be successful, and actually, I think it's a good thing to have some competition. That's what competition does, right? Battlefield took a break for a couple of years, and they listened, and everyone seems to love it. I've not seen one negative voice around Battlefield 6, and I've seen a lot of voices lately. So, yeah. Dutch, anything else you expect from opening night live?
Like I say,
Any surprises you're expecting or
no,
hoping for?
I actually
or-
don't expect any surprises. I don't expect absolutely none. I think Microsoft are literally laying out exactly what they're showing you, and they have. This is what you're going to see. So that's what you're going to see. And I don't think there's going to be anything in between. And I think people are going to go mad because they haven't done any surprises. But they didn't say there's going to be any surprises. They've just said, this is what you're going to see on our streams.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think there's going to be a little kick-off on X and social media about the fact that there wasn't any surprises. But they've already ruled out what they're going to show. So don't be surprised if there's nothing. I don't believe there's going to be any surprises. I think Keely might have one or two surprises. Maybe he's not Xbox related, but just in general. But I really don't believe so. Even going to the event when we went, not last year, but the year before, there wasn't really any surprises on there either.
That's the thing, right? Opening night live never really was.
It wasn't really
that show where you got to see, this is, even though Jeff Keighley always brags about, we had like 20 world premieres and then it was all games you see once and forget about them. There was really nothing that stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
I remember, that was the opening night live game. It was revealed there. So I don't expect that either this year. Even though the CEO of Gamescom, the lead executive of Gamescom said this week that they have never been in competition with E3. But now that E3 is gone, they kind of have to step up their game. And that they want to announce more games at E3 at Gamescom going forward. That they want to become bigger, and this year's going to be the biggest one ever. They have more than 1,500 exhibitors.
I mean,
this
it would
year.
be phenomenal if after all this time, instead of having to go all the way to LA for an actual major game show, it's based in Germany.
Yes. Absolutely.
I would take that
Absolutely.
all day long. And everybody, all these big influencers and things can stop trying to think we can come over there and they can fly all the way over to Europe and meet us instead of us spending thousands of pounds and hours going over there and staying in LA of all places, which isn't cheap.
Yeah. True that. Would be way more convenient for us Europeans, at least.
Yep.
So yeah, let's see. I'm with you. This year I don't expect any big surprises at opening night live. It's gonna be still a good show to watch. Probably a good couple of good games are going to be there. Resident Evil and so on, of course. But I don't expect any big surprises. And of course, since Xbox really isn't doing a showcase or anything, people also should temper their expectations, because for these public events like Gamescom, where they have more than 400,000 public visitors, right, at Gamescom, they very well lay out their lineup, and they did that, and they will support it with streams. They've confirmed that the streaming schedule. You will get more insights in the Rock Alley, right? You will get into the games at the booth. You will get insights there, but no surprises. I wonder though how the public will be receiving the Asus ROG Xbox LEX and the regular one. If people actually get their hands on, and we will get like first hands-on impressions from non-invited influencers, right?
Yeah.
Because there have been a few influencers that got their hands on the big ones like Linus Tech and Paris Lily and Digital Foundry, and so they got their hands on the device in a very supervised environment, and it's your impression of a device. I'm not saying that these voices are bought and not critical, but when you get flown in from Microsoft into an event, you get served proper food, and then you get to play one game,
Yeah.
very supervised. Your impression of a device is going to be very different than when you just get the thing in your hand and you boot up, I don't know, Hollow Knight, right?
Yeah.
Silksong or something. It's very different. And so I'm looking forward to these actual, really hands-on impressions.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see it as well. I got an email the other day from D-Brand. They've already got a case ready to go for it.
Of course, you kind of need those for a handheld. All right, Dutch. Anything you want to add to Gamescom before we move on?
No. I mean, I always get kind of slight after having been to Gamescom with all of you guys. I always get a little bit of FOMO of just not being there. It's not specifically like going to the event per se, because the event was cool. It was more just hanging out with the friends at Gamescom and just having food and having drinks, and then going and seeing games, and then coming out and having more drinks and more food. And it was just the time there that I get the FOMO for, and I'm like, oh, I kind of, as expensive as it is, I do wish I was there.
I agree with you. Don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to my summer vacation with the wife and kids, but like you said, it's not just the the fact that you get to play games and get early impressions of stuff. It's meeting the people, and that's what I'm already having FOMO about, and it's
Yep.
gonna be even worse next week when you see all the pictures getting posted. But
And then just getting back to the hotel after a long day of talking and looking video games and having a few drinks and
yeah,
chilling out outside with people, and then heading to bed, doing your little bit, typing up and whatnot you were doing, and that's it. And then wake up again the next morning, or drunk podcasting in a hotel room.
that podcast was legendary. Indeed. Yeah. That's next year, maybe next year
next
again.
year, hopefully.
All right. Then let's stick with Xbox. I know this isn't this week's news. It was more of last week's news, but again, we didn't have a podcast last Thursday, so I really wanted to talk to you about this. The next Xbox is reportedly set to be powered with an AMD chip that is called Magnus, and it is described as something really different than usually consoles are being built, or the chipset, the SoC for consoles is built. Because in like every console we had so far, every PlayStation, every Xbox, every Nintendo console, we had dedicated APUs, right? And this time, Xbox is building a chipset that is basically still, you could still call it an APU, but on that chiplet, on that SoC, you have a separated CPU and GPU die, which will allow them to have a much more scalable chipset. Of course, everyone is speculating about this makes sense because then for an Xbox handheld, you can use the same chip layout and just scale down or up, right? It will allow much easier licensing stuff. So this idea, we've talked about this also on our podcast quite often, that Xbox could be licensing out hardware, console hardware. It would also to Asus or I don't know, Alienware or whoever wants to build one, right?
Yeah.
It would also allow them to do much more, iterative approach to console design, getting more frequent updates out of hardware, right? And especially with what is all but confirmed that the next Xbox is also going to run Windows, right?
Yeah.
This makes even more sense. So I wanted to hear your thoughts because there's a lot to talk about in this whole approach there, right? What were your thoughts when you heard that? Is this a big win? Is this something you see critical?
It's going to be hard to really tell until we kind of see it in action whether or not it makes
Absolutely
makes a big impact or not. It's hard. It's a lot of it. It's just it's very speculative because we don't. There's nothing official to say that it is definitely happening that way. Is this next Xbox actually going to be a Windows-based Xbox, or is it going to be the one after? That'll be the Windows-based Xbox.
Oh, it's going to be the next one. Absolutely.
But yeah, it's hard. I don't really, to be honest, I don't really have any thoughts on that as it stands because it's all very speculative. We don't even know what Magnus is capable of in itself yet.
Well, they've described quite a bit of it, and usually our listeners do know that of our podcast. We do not talk or pick up the dude, trust me,
Yeah.
I've heard kind of rumors. But this one comes actually from Moore's Law. Is that very, very well-known insider in the chip business.
Yeah.
It's less in the gaming business, but in the chip business, he's leaked previously basically every console with more or less the exact specs. The PS5 Pro just recently, right, was all Moore's Law is dead. It's got some really good sources, and he actually broke it down quite a bit. It's gonna be it's gonna be a very, very powerful chipset if scaled properly. Of course, it will, for especially on the GPU side, allow you to scale up and down towards different devices, but it's gonna be very powerful. RDNA 5 plus Zen 6 architecture is rumored that this is gonna be melted, making up a UDNA approach from AMD. They've had that in the pipeline for quite a while. It's going to have a dedicated NPU, of course. It's going to be significantly more powerful than a classic APU design. So we kind of know quite a few things. For the exact detailed specs, I would definitely refer to Moore's Law is that video. But it does sound that Xbox is really going for power next gen. Of course, with subsidized consoles being a thing of the past. We've seen that with the PS5 Pro, with its ridiculous pricing, especially outside of the US, right? The subsidized console business is gone. And you would expect that the next Xbox really isn't going to be cheap unless they really make use of that scalability approach and release again multiple tiers. Do a handheld, do a Series S kind of device and a Series X kind of device, but the powerful device, I expect 4 digits for that after reading or seeing the specs in there. But I think it's kind of an interesting idea to go into that UDNA approach where you have a unified design, separate the die of the CPU and GPU in consoles. I mean, that's basically what we've said, I want to say at least a year ago. If we would set out our dream specs, we've always said get rid of the APU, do a dedicated CPU and a dedicated GPU. They're still going to do that on one chipset, but with dedicated dies, which is great. Get rid of the shared memory pool. Get rid of the overhead in the production process, where you have to take care of a lot of spinning issues when you have a singular die for your CPU and GPU and so on. It kind of makes sense to do that. It's gonna be a pricey thing, but then again, if the next Xbox is more or less a PC-based device with Windows running it and it being powered by Windows, you could also use it to do your office work in theory, right? It kind of makes sense. And actually, I love that idea. I also love the idea of consoles being licensed out. Why not let Asus do an Xbox console that costs 2,000 euros or US dollars, but is badass powerful for those who want it, right? Why not license it out to Lenovo to do a super cheap one, right? That we will be able to get for $200, and it barely runs games, but better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
I like that idea. And I also like the idea of more frequently iterative consoles.
Yeah.
I think console generations that last 7-8 years are just too long. Technology moves so fast. And in the console space, we are still stuck in this idea that the device that you buy in 2020 is still remotely up to date in the year 27 or 28, 7-8 years later, right? So this chip idea or this design idea is something that has me excited for the future of consoles. And one last thing, the question really is now only for me, when do we see this, right? Because it didn't sound like it would be a 26 chipset. Not with everything that has been going on within AMD, them delaying the Zen architecture, them delaying the RDNA architecture year after year, them dealing with issues on the NPU side of things. That's why they fell so behind NVIDIA in recent years, right? I doubt that this is going to be a 26 chiplet, and this is what we've had rumored for a long time, that 26 is the year where Xbox is going to start next gen early, right? Kind of doubt it after this leak, but I'd rather wait another year for 27 and then get a proper, really good device than it being rushed out in 26.
Yeah, I mean, on that note, yes, I would agree. I've got no major need or requirement to pick up an another new console next year. I think if I was picking up the ROG Xbox Ally X, that would kind of be my new biggest bit of hardware anyway, because that is quite a big outlay as it stands. Like, I've already got the Series X, the PS5, the Switch 2. If I got the ROG Xbox Ally X, that would be my quite an expensive bit of kit as it was. Never mind then investing in another bit of hardware with Xbox. So yeah, I don't mind waiting an additional year to the year after either. To be fair, I'm not in no major rush for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave Ramos sends in a channel member chat for being a channel member for 49 months now. Thank you so much, first of all, for the continued support. And he says this: you are Boxy of the future and you knight Magnus day one. How often do you think you'll actually upgrade if Xbox is an ever iterative line of devices? Well, it really depends, of course, on how frequently they're going to release that. But to be honest, I play so much. I play so much on my Xbox, or in general on my video game systems that I have. It's my number one entertainment format. I barely watch Netflix. I barely read books, but I love video games. I love them, and I play every year thousands of hours. So I wouldn't be against an upgrade every 2 or 3 years. I would just sell my old Xbox, right? Listen, when I sold my Xbox One X on launch day of the Series X, I still got $250 for it. So I got the new Series X for 250 euros after selling my Xbox One X. And if I would do that with my Xbox every 2 or 3 years and then just upgrade it, and I would absolutely be up for that, man. I wouldn't mind. How about you, Dutch?
Depends if it's like modular and you can kind of actually go in and change RAM and shit like that in it.
I doubt that this is going to happen. nothing in this report of Moore's law is that said that,
So
and
it's
it's
more like a
still
laptop APU.
yeah, it's an APU, but with separated dies on it. Yeah, so it's not like you will be able to swap out your GPU and smooth in a new one, and it's not gonna be like that. But hey, if Xbox brings out every 2 or 3 years a new console with a better chipset, a new GPU, pardon me, a new GPU, more powerful, similar like Nvidia does, right? Every 2 years, we get in 2 years we get the 690, 6090, and so on, the 60 series. Would you be up for that?
It depends on the price. If they're going to be selling these things at like circa 800 to 1,000 every 2 to 3 years, probably not. I'd probably just do it in like regular cycle mode. Then I would just do it every 5 to 6 years. And the reason I say that is like outside of
I doubt that.
outside of my phone or something like that, when it's going upwards of like in the like 1,000 to 1,500 ballpark figure for a device, I'd rather pay that over a period of a contract than, as it were, as a total upfront. I hate spending on, especially technology, having to spend on something that it only lasts like a year or so until you have to change it.
I mean, that's the thing. It would be optional, right?
Exactly. So
it would
that's
be
what I'm saying.
optional.
Once you've bought a TV, realistically, that TV is going to last you quite a long time until there is something worthwhile upgrading it for. And as much as I'm all for upgrading a console every couple of years, on PC, it's far more fluid than that because it's not specifically one thing or the other that's upgrading. Depending on who it's with, it's like it can be RAM has improved significantly, or the GPUs have increased significantly, or APUs have got really, really good, or the actual software in itself that everything's running off is becoming far more streamlined, or everything as individual items are changing at different paces and getting better in different ways. SSDs, for instance, and RAM haven't really changed that significantly over the time. Yes, you can get levels of faster RAM or shorter or slower RAM, but ultimately they all work and do the same job. It's just one slower than the other. Same with SSD read-write speeds. Some you can get 5,000, some you can get 7,000, you can get them all the way up to 10,000. It just depends on what you want in that particular thing. So it depends on what the overall package is increasing by every 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely. It's
if it's
very
just, for instance, you look at the overall specs of the upgrade 2 years down the line, and they're like, well, what is actually changed? And they're like, oh, well, the RAM's a bit quicker, and the GPU section of it, or the graphics processing is a bit more powerful. And like, is that it?
I know what you mean. Again, it's a very speculative discussion at this point, because we have really no idea.
Because I mean, we literally go through this every time, like we talk about Nvidia and their cards. When you're talking about the differences between like the 4060, 4070, 4080, or the 5060, 5070, 5080, 5090, and you're like, well, pricing bandings. Are you really needing to do the 5090? The 5080 is really powerful. Would you get a 5070 over the 5080 because they're not really too dissimilar? And then like that's the kind of stuff that you end up talking about with console upgrades, and you're like,
I know what you mean. But then I do not remotely play as much on my PC than I play on my console.
What I mean by that is,
listen, if I
then the real world differences though would be even less significant depending on what type of changes are coming to that overall APU. Because if they're like, oh, well, it's overall 10% better processing speeds and 15% better
course.
graphical
If
fidelity,
if
then you're
it's
like,
not really worth it,
in real time, that's not really worth it.
yeah, again, it kind of depends. Listen, how many hours do you play on your console each year?
On
I want to
PC,
say, no, in general, on
Oh.
your consoles.
on consoles, and God knows.
It's gotta be, I don't know, I would have to look it up, but let's say 3,000 hours. Which
Across
is
the year,
probably
yeah, thousands.
across the year. So 3,000 hours a year. If you buy a console every other year, that would make like you've used that device for 6,000 hours already. You definitely got your money's worth. And then upgrade it to a better version that you're gonna use another 6,000 hours. For I know that this wouldn't be the case for a casual gamer.
Yeah,
Casual gamer would just stick with you, me, and probably many in our community here are diehard video game fans, and we play thousands and thousands of hours each year. And so being against an optional iterative upgrade every other year or every 3 years, or I don't know, yeah, I would love that, and I would make use of it because I use that device so much. It would be money well invested.
yeah. For me, it depends on what the real time benefits are that are not specifically how much I play it.
Of course.
Yeah, it would be
If
like,
it's like nothing, if it's nothing worth getting,
Yeah.
of course not.
Yeah.
But
that's why I don't get the pro. Like, that's why I also don't get the pro consoles, because, like, if you people are like, yeah, but it does 60 frames on most games now. I'm like, yeah, but it's all well and good, but for 900 is what you're quoting for a pro console, and it does like 10, maybe 9 frames better than the regular. Then you're like,
Xbox
come on.
would have done one, you would have gotten one. It's just because you use your PlayStation only for the exclusives.
No, I don't.
And
I
since
even
there
said
are
that
one or
when
two games a
I
year.
even said that when Xbox done it though. The overall requirement for one this generation isn't there, because unlike last gen,
Agree.
the pro versions went from 1080p to 4K, went from like less games doing 60 frames to more games doing 4K 60, and that was a big jump in its requirements.
a
And
big
then we got
jump.
HDR for the first time.
And you will not get that jump again
Exactly.
because there is nothing in the display technology that will allow
Exactly.
for
So
that
the only
kind of
real
jump.
big jump
However-
next would be consoles doing
Yeah,
games
but
at
however, if you look
guaranteed
at
90 frames to 100 frames at 4K max settings. Yes, then you'd be like, okay, that's a big jump.
I mean, listen, look at the PC space. If you go from a 4080 to a 5080, you can argue, is it worth it for you personally? But there is a big jump. There is a jump that you will notice. You get new DLSS technology with frame gen. You get better graphics. You get better frames. Of course, you can say it's not worth it for me, but you can't argue that you do not see the difference. And so, if you would apply a similar thing to a console every 2 or 3 years, why not? For those that actually do use the device a lot, and I know you play a lot on your Xbox as well. So anyway, Dutch, that's very speculative thing because we haven't gotten any official confirmation. We don't know what they will actually do. I just found the idea of that Magnus thing really, really intriguing.
Yeah.
To have such a scalable chip design that will not only allow for more iterative and more frequent consoles releases, but also if you talk about scalability from handheld to low tier console like a Series S kind of device to a very, very high tier console that could be even licensed out to someone. I find that idea very, very intriguing, and I'm looking forward to learn more about that once it's ready. Let us move on and switch to PlayStation real quick. Helldivers got a trailer a couple of days ago teasing a Halo crossover.
Yep.
What do you make of that, man?
Well, it makes sense, ODSTs and Helldivers, that are pretty much hand in hand the same
Absolutely.
thing. So, no, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. I'll probably pick up Helldivers too when it comes out on Xbox. It looks like a fun time. I'm not going to
Comes
pre-order
out
it or
at a
anything.
bad timing though. Same day with Gears and a bunch of other games coming out more or less at the same time.
I don't
I'm
mind
not
Gears I got
sure.
for free, so I'm in absolutely no rush to play that.
Yeah, but there's only so much time I can spend in video games. And at the same time, Gears comes out, I want to play that.
You're also not a
multiplayer.
massively multiplayer kind of gamer anymore, so
Yeah, but I want to play Gears multiplayer. And I don't want to play that like 2 months or 3 months after it's out, when only when all the servers are only occupied by the pros.
it's too late. They're already occupied by pros.
No, when it comes out, there will also be noobs in there.
PlayStation noobs.
For instance. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But then after coming home from our summer vacation, it's already September, and then starting from September, so many games are going to come out, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be willing to invest the time into Helldivers 2. But I found the idea of OD Halo crossover really interesting. It also shows that Sony is kind of willing to cooperate on such things, which is very interesting, because they have been a very locked down ecosystem, right? And it's the first time really a PlayStation published game is coming to Xbox consoles.
Yep.
They had their PC releases, yes. MLB The Show, really a different thing because it wasn't published by Sony on Xbox, and they were kind of forced to not lose the license to do that. So I wouldn't count MLB, and with that, it's the first time a console game is coming, then it's getting dedicated Xbox content, with one of the biggest Xbox IPs. It really shows there's also a change in the mindset at PlayStation.
Yep.
All right. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm looking forward to playing it.
Oh.
I didn't play it on PC. I haven't played it on PlayStation, so
Same.
yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. Hopefully, playing it with a group of people and experiencing it properly that way, as opposed to just with randoms.
It most definitely looks like a fun time, and people on PlayStation and PC have been really enjoying Helldivers too. So it's gonna be a good time for Xbox gamers. Absolutely. All right, Dutch. With that, we already come to an end of this week's World of Gaming, the Saturday edition. I want to say a big thank you to our awesome community who joined us here on this Saturday evening, the podcast. We will be taking a 2-week break. Again, summer vacation time. Going to Denmark with my Rock Ellie, the wife and the kids. And so, yeah, we won't have a podcast for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But we'll be back after that, of course, here at the usual spot. When is that then? It's gonna be
first week of September.
4th.
Yeah.
September 4th, exactly. We're gonna be back. Looking forward to that. But as for now, I want to say again a big thank you for tuning in here today. A big thank you to the listeners on Spotify or Apple Podcast who made it till the end. And Dutch, before we let everyone out of here, tell them where they can find you and what you've coming up, man.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at WandrinDutch or WandringDutch X. Whilst Box is off, I might do a couple of gameplay streams on Thursdays instead of having nothing. Just to kind of pass the time for people. So if you want to stop by and watch some gameplay, or might play some multiplayer games with friends or something like that on the stream, you never know. But yes, I don't have a holiday coming up, so enjoy, Boxy.
Thank you. I will, and I will be posting a couple of pictures from beautiful Denmark. I've never been to Denmark, man.
Nice. Well, enjoy it.
I've been driving through the country when I went to Sweden and Norway, but I've never really stopped there except at a gas station or something like that. So I'm really looking forward to see that beautiful country. And yeah, guys, we will be back in 2 weeks then. Until then, I do hope you enjoy your games. There's plenty to play. And don't forget to game on.
You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. I'd rather be a dreamer,